Good morning, everybody. I am Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're on the boat. My goodness. Good morning. Boy. People, today is going to be a hell of a day. It really is. Come on, squirrel. When I got up this morning at 4, and I had to go and load up the everything for the show again. And unfortunately, Dennis, good to see you. So this morning I woke up with a headache. It's not like the last one was, but it's a headache. So I'm still going to probably get in here early this upcoming week just to get scanned again and make sure nothing's changed and it's more of the same. But the I thought I had a different thumbnail made up, but I thought, you know what, this is one of those this is one of those times where Schrodinger Squirrel, good to see you. Tanya D, good to see you. Dennis, good to see you. You're good. You're good. No tardiness. In fact, I think I started a couple of minutes early, but that's because I got to get everything loaded up for the show today. M Hunt, good to see you. Yesterday ended up turning out, after I got off the lifeboat last night, I ended up with another really big, I am a little early. I ended up with one more really big sale that took place online. Hey, V, good to see you. And I think officially yesterday became the biggest day I ever had as a business, which is great. But so I went to bed last night, and I went to bed early. I watched a little YouTube. Actually, I kind of listened to a little YouTube. I found that I think that some of what was going on with my headache is that I've kind of been pushing the envelope in terms of what I watch. I haven't been, I don't watch films because of that. But I was watching a video that kind of had a light show. And I think that I might have kicked off this whole migraine episode a couple of days ago by watching a video that had a light show going on behind it. And the person who was talking isn't, they're not doing anything and there's no editing. But because of the way the lights were going, I think I might have brought this thing on myself. And I'm going to be considerably more careful going forward. We've been getting hit with some solar flares. Big one incoming today, too. I read that, Schrodinger Squirrel. I read that there's a big one coming in today. There's just so much strangeness going on in the U.S. of A. Yeah, Miss V, she is on one rather today. Squirrel's getting used to us filming on the 5s. I think she prefers just doing the 5 o'clock at night. The 5 o'clock in the morning one, I have to get her up. My separation from alcohol starts all over again today. I got ill last night and it ruined our steak dinner. That's unacceptable. My daughter saw that. You know what, M. Hunt? I know that I'm. My job is kind of to sit here and talk about substances. I don't ever want to come across as the like the wise old statesman, because I'm really not. I'm just like everybody else. But there are things that you go through that I went through. I mean, just even mindset stuff that you go through that I really went through. I remember a very similar thing, except mine was not that. I got really, really sick in front of a lot of family members, and it was. You know what? I'll tell the story. I went on vacation to Arizona, and I went with a lot of family, and I brought a bunch of dope with me because you can't go anywhere without a bunch of dope with you because you get sick. And this was probably one of the low points of my life, but I woke up in the morning and everybody in my sister's house was panicking because the dog was ill and they couldn't figure out why. And it looked like one of those situations that, the dog was throwing up and they thought, maybe the dog ate something. It was stumbling around and it just really looked sad. And the dog was not a young dog. But I went and got my shorts out and none of the dope was in my shorts. It was, and I thought, oh God, you know what? The dog ate this. And I sort of got hit with this decision-making process that, I'm either going to let this dog die or I'm going to go tell everybody what happened. And I had been lying to everybody for so long about being sober again. So I went in and I sat everybody down and I said, hey, the dog ate drugs, my drugs. I said, and I don't want the dog to die. So I needed to tell everybody. And as it turns out, the dog did not eat my dope. My family was sort of on to me. So right after I passed out, they went through what I was wearing and found it. And right after I said that, my family pulled the bag of dope out and basically dropped it on the table and said, you mean this? And the saddest part of it was me looking at everybody and going, you guys are going to hand that back to me. And I'm like, I realize you don't want me to have that and everything else. I'm like, but you're getting ready to hand that back to me right now. And it was just, yeah, busted. And the worst part was having to say to them, you're giving that to me. That's not an option. You don't want to watch what's about to happen to me if you don't give that to me. And the look on everybody's face when they handed it to me, if I had been any other person, I think that probably would have been enough. And by that point I was robbing banks all the time. And in fact, I was planning on robbing a bank in the state that I was in. Like that. I don't know why that, if that internet access or what that is, but thanks, squirrel. But it did exactly what it did last night. It just sort of kicked me out, but I'm glad that I'm back. Yeah, poor squirrel. She really is not particularly happy with me waking her up. But that should have been an absolute low point for me. And it wasn't. I didn't, and it brought so much attention to me that the bank robbery was out. Like there was no chance I was going to be able to sneak off to go rob a bank, which is, the kind of stuff that I used to do. So, and I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough to start with. And being a heroin addict, when something like that happens, I couldn't go back to just doing enough to stay well because the stress of the situation, I did triple what I should have that day. And I then had to have stuff FedExed into me. And I'm pacing back and forth, 3 days later, waiting for the FedEx man to come. It was one of those things where when this vacation was over, there was nobody in my family that had any more illusions and at any level about who I was. And it was, I'm Hunt, and I just remember the feeling of knowing that it was an embarrassment, it was a disappointment, it was everything. And I wish I could tell you that I snapped out of it, but I didn't. I went probably 5 more years after that of continuing to use. But, I was talking to my daughter last night, and I love my daughter more than anything. So my daughter called me last night at midnight, which was just not a good night to get a phone call from your daughter at midnight because I got to get up at 4 and I have this show to do, this show and then the other show, right, which is going to be an all-day affair. But when she called, she was just, I'm not telling you too much. She was just having a tough day. And so I spent about an hour on the phone with her. And one of the things that came across was, she said, I'm just really happy I never saw you the way you used to be. She said, she heard stories, but she said, that the fact that she never saw me that way, it really, and the thing is, I know that, yeah, we have the opportunity to jam the brakes on so many times, and we don't. And it's not us, it's the disease. It really is. And it doesn't mean that I get a pass, right, for the things that I did. But once you're really removed, once you got a period of time of real sobriety where you're removed from the situation, you look back and you just go, who the hell was that? You know what I mean? Like, I really truthfully am not that person. I love you, Captain. I'm sorry you're still suffering, but I'm glad you're mostly better now. Thanks, V. I appreciate that. And you know what? I am. I am still suffering a bit, but I'm going to make today a hell of a day. Headache, no headache. It's not a migraine. So if I felt like I did the morning that I came down and put the sunglasses on, there would be no watch show today. There would be no anything. But I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go to church today, which is going to make this this watch show a little tougher. But you know what? I just feel blessed. Like the last 2 days have been amazing, and prayers being answered, and I feel like I really kind of want to hit church today. I really want to do that before I go to the show. But it's going to this is going to be an interesting morning. Oh, and I didn't tell you guys yesterday, or maybe I did, but I got chewed out by the person that runs the shows. He's like, you signed a contract to leave at 5 o'clock. People pay to come into this show. And he said, you've been doing these now long enough where a lot of people are coming just to look at watches. He's like, and if they show up at 4 o'clock and you're gone, but it was cool because there's never been another time in my life where, I just would have kowtowed. I would have gone and put the stuff back, but I looked at the guy and I just said, look, dude, I said, I do a meeting on YouTube. I said, I think we've had this conversation before. And he goes, yeah, the sobriety thing. And I know I was being sensitive, but the way he said it just pissed me off. He's like, yeah, the sobriety thing. I said, yeah, my sort of my mission in life. I said, and I'll not do the show if that's what it comes to. Like, this will be the last one I do. And I give the guy a pile of money. It's not cheap to buy this booth. And then, I also, we donate stuff for raffles and things like that. So, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but because of what I sell compared to what other people sell, if I donate into that raffle, they're getting a hell of a prize, and it's a kind of a big deal for them. But you know what, V? It's such a good idea. It really is. And I've had people say the same thing. Don't stand up all day. And you see a lot of people in the booths that sit down. I'm just not good at sitting down. I think you people would really laugh the first time we all get together, because we're going to. I'm getting very close to being off paper, and I'm going to tour the U.S., but I don't sit down. The only time I am sitting ever is when I'm on the lifeboat. Even when I work on watches, most of the time I try to do it standing up because it's just, I don't know. I read a bunch of stuff about, what sitting was doing. I did when I sold model cars for my brother-in-law. I should probably take a little time off my feet. I also need to wear different shoes because yesterday the shoes that I wore, you don't notice because you're in the moment, but this morning walking downstairs to feed squirrel, my left ankle, my right ankle, I tore the Achilles tendon there. I can't remember how many times, honestly. After the first surgery, I stepped on something. Like I had just come out of the cast and I stepped on something and I lifted my foot really quick and I tore it again. I've had surgery on it so many times. Like I have scars that go, whew, they cut so that they could go back in and fix it. And then they just moved to the right about a half an inch and they cut again and then they moved to the right. So I just got these lines that go all the way back. But the Achilles tendon, that was a terrible, terrible injury. But I'm going to wear much more comfortable shoes. Today is going to be about being more comfortable than trying to look like a watch guy. I'm going to wear some really comfortable shoes. I'm going to sit down more. I promise you I'm going to, today, it's going to be about self-care. But you know something, peeps? Even when the headache started today, the automatic negative thoughts within 4 minutes of being awake just flooded me. Man, I'm going to get, the headaches are starting. It's going to be a migraine again. There's no way I'm going to get through this day. And I could feel it gathering speed. And I was in the process of allowing myself to destroy my own day, and like I said, yesterday was the best day in business I've ever had. And we've had some good days, but yesterday was just, what a day, I did a month worth of business in one day, and I get to go back and try again today. But I was talking myself into And I think all addicts do this. I think that one of the reasons we do dope is to turn off automatic negative thoughts. M. Hunt, you are going to be in my prayers today. I promise you. Multiple times. You are going to be in my prayers today. And you're going to get through this. You are. And I can't begin to tell you how much I believe you are going to do just amazing things. You're a very talented individual. And I just know that really big things are coming. I really know that. And I hated it when people used to say that to me. I used to think, these people are idiots. But there's something coming for you, brother. I have a feeling that you are going to change this world in many ways. I really believe that. I went back through some stuff the other day, and people were talking. You remember when Tommy Bird came on and was talking about looking up through the telescope, and somebody had said, a really, really special person. I thought you were talking about Tommy Bird. When I went back and read that, you guys were talking about Q, and I shot his mother an email telling him that, and I think it's just, I know that we're doing wonders for that family. And I know a lot of you are praying that a miracle is going to get him out. And I pray that. I've been praying that every day since I met him. But, hello, Heather Joy. But one way or the other, we're doing wonders for that family. We're doing wonders for him. We really are. And he has the last time I heard from Swiss was like 2 days after. So not the day of the migraine, but the following day I heard from Swiss. He reached out to me and emailed me, and he was doing good. He was doing good last I talked to him. Yeah, he's doing okay for sure. Good morning, Kimberly Ray. Good morning, beautiful peeps. She's talking to you guys. I'm not looking, look at that. Starting to get the pretty serious stubble coming in on the dome too. I need to, if I don't shave every day, my hair comes in really quick. So I'm gonna have to catch a shower and shower, shave, get over to church. And here's the here's the quandary or the danger. If I roll over to church is not in a bad part of town, but I'll be parking a car with $350,000 worth of stuff in it, and just grow it like your brother does. There you go. Just let it roll. But, and watches are not, they scare me having them in the car, because having, if somebody were to just, the window gets shattered or whatever, it would take somebody probably 2 minutes, and they could steal hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. I think before you ever saw me, I actually had the goatee. It was down to about there. And Johnny and I played chess, right? Best 3 out of 5 chess game. And the loser had to shave their beard. And I was 2 games up on Johnny. I almost got Johnny to shave his goatee. I was 2 games up on him. And I'm a better chess player than him, but he came back and beat me. Yeah, Charlie Mullins knows. He says, grow it and play another chess game. What's funny, Charlie, is I still have it. Like, it was like, when I cut it off, I didn't get rid of it. I have it somewhere upstairs. It's like, 7 inches long or something. I don't have the patience that I used to have. It starts to come in and I'm like, yeah. And then, and then I go and shave the thing. But the only thing I never grow in is my hair. The only time I ever did that was when I was incarcerated. I grew it out to a ponytail, and I ended up looking like George Carlin, where it's just almost, real thin on top and long hair in the back. And I don't know, I felt like an idiot. But I did that because if your head is shaved in prison, you kind of look like you're part of that racist kind of Nazi kind of crowd, and everywhere I went, those guys would come up and be like, hey brother, and I just, especially, almost out of just respect to Q, I just said, I'm not going to cut my hair again while I'm in here. And I didn't until he and I got, once I was at the end of my sentence and I got to go to a different part of the country to get ready to go home, I grew it out. But prior to that, I shaved it, but prior to that, I just grew it out. People, today is going to be a hell of a day. Do not let automatic negative thoughts run wild on you. I really believe today that I proved to myself you can jam the brakes on them. If you let them go, they will destroy a day. I promise you. If you let them get rolling, they will destroy a day. My ex said he was going to do that, so if I got to see him, it won't surprise me if he shaved. Yeah, everybody does it. It's one of the first things that happens, especially the white guys get there, and that's the first thing they do. So, so this morning I sat down, did a little meditating, did a little praying. I woke up at exactly 4 o'clock, and by 4:15, I had talked myself into the fact that this was going to be a migraine and that this was just the start of it, and today was going to suck and I was going to be wasting my time down there. Like, I really got rolling. The automatic negative thoughts were coming one right after the other. And I went outside. It's cold as hell. I went outside, started taking deep breaths, and I didn't really have time to walk around the neighborhood in the dark. So I just sort of paced back and forth, but it's cold, and that shock to the system of changing the room I was in, going from fake light on to being outside in the dark and we're far enough away from town that you always see stars where I live, and looking up and seeing the stars and everything else, and and then the automatic thoughts that were in my head just stopped being negative. The self-talk started to be stuff like, man, you talk to people about this every single day. You talk to people about this every single day. You're not going to let automatic negative thoughts destroy what could be, the best day of your life, or could be at least, the best weekend of my business ever, right? If I have even a halfway decent day today, this will be, this will change the next 4 or 5 months in terms of finances and stuff, because it's just been, yesterday was epic. It really was. Yesterday was epic. I sold a ton of stuff, and it was all very, very expensive stuff. And with what I do, you can buy a watch and sit on it for a year. You just don't know. The fight is the life. John Doe. Yeah, and it's a pretty cool comment. And there's an awful lot of truth to that. That's the nature of everything about, who we are and what we do. It really is. That's the nature of it. But I love that comment. I really do. I love that comment. 1 second, peeps. Sorry. Yeah, John Doe, we're glad you're here. So, I am going to be here for sure this evening. Regardless of whatever I got to do. The nice thing is that the second day of these shows are always hi and thank you. Yeah, well, we're glad you're here. They're the short day, right? That's the short day. So Sunday ends 1 hour shorter than the other days. So I'm not breaking the rules as much when I start packing up. When I start packing up early, which is good, because I didn't really feel like the confrontation. The guy is really non-confrontational. He's a very nice guy, but you could tell that he was not happy that I was leaving early. And the funny thing is, I think it's like the third show in a row that he said that to me. You would think by now, you are not your thoughts. Rebuke them and send them packing. People, did you hear what Schrodinger's squirrel just said? There's actually a book almost titled, I almost said entitled. And I would be entitled to saying it wrong, right? There was a book titled You Are Not Your Thoughts. And you're not, right? I mean, this is something I think that we really, especially as addicts, I really struggled with. I don't know if everybody else does, but I really struggled with when I first quit, because you do feel like, that's who you are, the things that you think, I think, therefore I am, and all of that garbage. And the truth of the matter is, your brain's not on your side. We've talked about this a lot, and you're not your thoughts. You are not. They're just, there's something that if you're not really on, they can run wild. I do that when I want alcohol. Good for you. Good for you. Peeps, all of my problems and maybe, I don't know, maybe everybody goes through this. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is the longest I've ever been sober in my life, but none of my problems in sobriety have anything to do with drugs anymore. I don't sit around and think about using. I don't go through any of that stuff. But I just struggle to be I struggle to just be the best that I can be. I struggle with automatic negative thoughts. I struggle with internal monologues that just suck, that try to talk you into the fact that you're a loser, and kind of all of those things. They never rise to the level of, man, boy, do I want to get high. It's never anything like that. But even though it's been hard because of my ex keeps trying to get out of doing hard time, it's triggering me to want to drink, but I just don't do it. Good for you, hon. Self-talk can be your friend when you decide the conversation, Miss V. Schrodinger Squirrel, you're on fire, man. AKA Heather Joy says, I have a book called You Are What You Think. I may have read that too. That's funny. That really is funny. But you are not what you think. I mean, your thoughts are they're a manifestation of what's going on in your life, but they are not you. And you absolutely can change them. Schrodinger Squirrel is spot on. Absolutely spot on. And the fight is life is that's the fight. The fight is learning to control the inner monologue. The fight is learning to control your self-talk. And if you can turn it from being your enemy to your friend, you're never going to use again. And you are going to get something out of life that even most sober people don't. Because, there's one, yes, this is something that I think that we don't realize about normies. Normies go through the same stuff we go through, right? Normies are haunted by automatic negative thoughts. They just don't ever, they never sort of came to the realization that they can turn off those things using substances. So they have learned coping skills. But they go through the exact same stuff that addicts do. Normies absolutely go through the exact same stuff. That's why if you go to the self-help section of any library and you read the titles, you could think to yourself, every one of these is a book for somebody in rehabilitation. And they're not. The vast majority are for people who are not in rehabilitation. But that's because we all go through the same thing. All of us, automatic negative thoughts destroy most people. And I don't mean it kills them, but I mean it destroys dreams. It keeps you from reaching full potential. It makes your relationships not work right. Automatic negative thoughts are the enemy. Fight is the perfect word to describe our lives. It is. Make no mistake. It is the perfect word to describe our lives. Every single day is a fight. You know something though? There's a reason that you hear people say, keep fighting the good fight. Because when you're in sync, when you are in that zone where you need to be as somebody who's working through their life and trying to stay sober, there's something so rewarding about every day that goes by that you didn't use. When you realize just how epic the struggle is, when you've come to the realization that that our fight is as difficult as running a marathon, climbing Everest, whatever, where we really are fighting the gray matter. We're fighting what keeps the body going, right? It's us against the computer. And once that really sinks in, you become very, very proud of the successes. And that's why the one day at a time model works for so many people, because each one is a building block. And after you've linked together 30 days and you're on your second month and you go, holy stuff, I can do this. Each of those successes build on one another. And after, it's different probably for every addict, but after you get to a point where it doesn't have to just be, I got to get through this day, right? Then it starts to be, I got to be the best that I can be today. How can I help other people today? How can I find my passion today? And you start to branch out into different subject matter, not just about recovery, but about being the best you can be. And I think that at that point, life really just starts to be fantastic. So we're looking at about let's see here. We're closing in on 5:30 rather. So I'm going to go load up the car. I'm going to get rolling. Full of Hope. You're late, but that's okay because we record these. I love Full of Hope. I really do. Glad you're here. But I am going to pack up, people. I'm kicking off a little early. I've got to go and put a lot of watches in my car and displays and all of the other stuff that I do and get ready to go to this show. I am going to try today I was thinking about this last night. It's not going to be great quality because of where I'm going to be doing it, but I'm going to try to film today, right? And just do a walkthrough so I can give you guys an idea. When I talk about walking around and seeing people in the passion that they do and all of that, I kind of would like to share that with the crew. I think it would be a very cool thing so that you at least have a perspective on what I'm talking about, to see the setup. Thank you, Miss V. I really appreciate that. Full of hope. You have a great day. To everybody else, have a fantastic day, people. Yes. Yep. And I always throw G in there, too, because of how guilty I speak. I call it G-halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. I promise you, I have already started to eat. Tired is an issue, but tonight, when I get home from this show and I do the next lifeboat, when I do the 5 o'clock, I promise you here, right now, I am going to be asleep by 6:15, and I will sleep through till the following day. You have my word. I am being way more conscious about focusing on taking care of that, because I think that sleep had something to do with my. I think dehydration, sleep, and a couple of YouTube videos that I pushed the limits of what my brain can take caused this. It's going to be a magnificent God-given day. Let's be a light to someone today. Mr. Wolf, I love you, man. All right, people. Guess what I got? She's back. She wasn't happy, but I'm telling you, once I start talking to you people, she knows I'm talking about her. She just stood up when I said that. Squirrel Nut, what are you doing? Yeah. All right, so that everybody. You ready? Don't. That is a cat in a basket. Come on, give him a look. No? All right, people. Have a great day. We will see you in 12 hours. God bless.